so ready for this. I'm not sure if the teams are. I'm sure they kind of want to break, but they're not getting one.
Nope.
This is what it means to be an Dota 2 professional. You got to be able to play long hours, stay focused the longest, and you just do a little bit better than your team. And in this case, Alliance did better than Demon Slayers. And that is why we are going to a 5th game in the series. Ladies, gentlemen, this was a game of mistakes.
It indeed was, and I also think it was another draft. I thought it was a pretty heavy draft win for Alliance early. I mean, what could they do to stop a Jug and Death Prop pushing their base? Healing Ward, Death Prophet ulti's down. Your Earthshaker jumps in. He used that one tier 1 when he wasted his ulti. It felt like the game ended right there, actually. You just felt the tides turning, and as you said, it's been a long day. This will be the 8th game in a row for Demon Slayers. 8 games.
This is kind of a lineup from Alliance which will punish any small mistakes that Demon Slayers make. You mentioned that mistake where Earthshaker goes in before the axe, which makes no sense. And we can see the nerves, or the players are just tired, where they use their spells, then they blink in. We also saw Lina almost for 10 minutes not disassembling mana boots and not getting the Ether Lance. So.
You can kind of see the fatigue starting to show up too, because they were doing a really great job earlier today. They're moving together as a cohesive unit, and then it feels like these last couple of games, they're getting a bit tired, they're getting a bit sloppy. You're seeing them go in 1 by 1. And that's not how they're going to win.
Yep. No, it really is not. We're going to take a look at which replay you guys chose. And see if there were any mistakes in that, or which great plays we can highlight.
Well,
that's it.
I believe this is it right here. You're going to see, whoa, you ultied one guy, but guess what? You didn't even do too much damage. He's already spinning out. Yep, that's a fail. And then over here, they try. And, well, the fight's pretty much over at this point. You see the Omni Slash go, and Costa Bile goes down. He's tanky, old white. That's 2 cores. Limps chasing for more. The others chase elsewhere to get I Annihilate. It's a 4 for 0 already, and that one, honestly, that one Earthshaker, you said it just takes one small mistake, and look at the Juggernaut's net worth compared to CK's now, and they get the Roche right after.
Yeah.
That's about a 5K net worth swing at 18 minutes in, and they didn't have the high ground defense to hold that against his Jug, who's 10K above everyone
Even
else.
though CK had a great laning stage, had the 6-minute Midas, he was getting a lot of farm, but he can't compete against Juggernaut with that Empower, especially if they are playing from behind. It's really tough.
Yeah, we started the game already saying that Demon Slayers would be on a timer regardless of how the game planned out, and the timer, you know,
shortened real quick, yeah.
Yeah. The more mistakes you make, the smaller your window is, and at some point your window is just shut. However, you know what a good thing is about making mistakes? Especially
you can learn from
big
them?
mistakes. What?
You can be MVP.
You might get an MVP award.
Oh.
You know, you can tell everybody at home that you got an MVP. They don't need to know why. Let's find out who you guys voted for this game.
I mean, that
I know, it's Flea, I think.
Flea,
But I don't know if the viewers at home saw that. I think it's Flea.
Nico Baby, all right. We got some
it was Flea in
positivity.
second. All right. I think that's actually almost perfectly fair of where it's distributed. Nico Baby, 0 deaths. If you have a 0 death game and you're solo carrying, hell yeah.
Yeah, it was a 11-0-8 in terms of his kill score at the end. And that was with a laning stage that didn't really go the way of Alliance, so even more admirable. It was a good game from Alliance.
Yes, very good game.
Very good game. I'm curious what's going to happen in game number 5, because yes, we have seen the fatigue a little bit, but perhaps you can also work with that, because that's what Alliance did. They're like, let's draft the easier lineup.
Yeah.
Right?
I think it is coming down to drafts, because Alliance, they lost those first 2 games, but Alliance saw what they played. As we see, I don't want to say that Demon Slayers are a limited pool, but they're picking one right now. We haven't seen them really change, and they're getting heroes we know they're going to get, but Alliance knows that as well, right? So they're pretty much just saying, here's the heroes you're comfortable with that we want you to play. They're like setting them up to pick these heroes.
But why haven't we seen the Shadow Demon? That's my big question, because they had the opportunity to get it. Yep. And they keep picking the Keeper of the Light instead. I don't know if they're thinking maybe, it's a good, like we saw them, it's harder to push high ground a little bit when you've got Lina throwing out stuff and plus the Illuminate, but you have something that works. Why are you?
I think it's more, that's his most 2-play heroes this tournament. I think he likes the Coddle here because they want team fight and they want those lower cooldowns like on a CK or a Night Stalker, but I don't think you need that. I mean, maybe they think they need a team fight. I just feel Shadow Demon's so good. I agree with you.
The save is just so, it's so handy in some of these fights, especially if you are a little tired, if you are a little bit out of place.
Yeah. I feel like Alliance figured them out. Exactly. They're just falling into the trap last 2 games.
Yeah, I mean, last 2, I mean, obviously the 3rd game took a little bit longer, but it was a very convincing win either way. And this next one, almost, 25 minutes or less, and it's just over.
One deciding game. Winner team gets $100,000, by the way, which is life-changing for sure for some of these guys. You gotta wait for after the break, though. Today, but throughout the whole tournament, this is it. There is one game, and you gotta win it if you want to win the tournament. You gotta put all those lessons into one game and into one draft, and we are in that one draft. I like that you tried to sign language. Everything I say, Grant, it's very much appreciated.
Keep going, Grant. Keep going with that. I want to see more.
They need to summon their inner Nicolas Cage, the last one.
They really do. They need all the help they can get, because the last 2 games, frankly, haven't looked as strong for them as the first 2 games, and also as the games that they played earlier today have looked. So,
yeah, I think Lacoste said it best. It feels like they're kind of settling with what they've been doing, but clearly these last 2 games it hasn't worked. And I mean, it's tough to just completely change up a strategy, but you definitely have to change something up, because Alliance has your number now.
It feels like they have the 6th player on their shoulder, the demon, telling them, yeah, pick this or we're going to lose the game.
No, don't do it. And then
you need to shut up.
You need the angel. Yeah, they need the angel there, not the demon.
Well, that's what Alliance did, right? During the first 2 games, they had a difficulty, and they switched it up. They were able to change gears, get themselves back into the game, and that's exactly what Demon Slayers need to do now. It's funny, you said the demon on your shoulder. I was like, wait, demon? Like Jimmy Demon on their shoulder?
No.
Are we suddenly blaming him?
He's the one who's whispering.
Yeah, mini Nicolas Cage on their shoulder.
Nick Cage. Well, you could get a good Nick Cage and a bad Nick Cage, I'm pretty sure, right?
Yeah. Ooh, so they banned the Keeper of the Lights. So now I think this is alliances you're going to take. What are we looking at? Probably LC, Jakiro, or Shadow Demon seems to be the first pick material mostly.
They value that Legion
Gyro,
commander a
they
lot on the
also
side of
rate
the
Gyro as well.
Gyro
It
is in
did
the
get
pool,
banned
yeah.
last game, but they did better without the Gyro, so I'm
Yeah.
curious. But you don't want to give it up second pick, so a little bit of mind games here for Demon Slayers. I like it. They go Gyro.
Okay.
All right, we'll see. I think SD Legion isn't terrible here. Jakiro Legion even. I like 1+ Legion. You don't want to give a Gyro and a Legion to Alliance. They'll pick both those cores early, and you will have a very hard time ever killing Nico Baby.
What a time to be alive. During TI9, we didn't see almost no Legion at all, and suddenly it's first pick
The
material.
best hero in the game, yeah. Press the attack. It's funny, right? I mean, it just takes one player to realize, hey, this is good, and then, all the copycats come, and that's how a meta's formed, I guess. Well, they're already going to dip into quite a bit of their reserve time here.
I mean, this is it. This is their final chance.
There's League. Give me the Legion SD or Legion Jakiro. I think it's just by far the best thing you can do.
I want the SD. I want them to pick up the SD again. It was working for them. Why fix what isn't broken? I wish we could tell what Flea is saying right there, because he seems very
he's
animated.
Yeah, he is. Definitely he's a loud voice on most of the teams he's on.
Yeah, we interviewed Annihilate, and he was saying he was just like, please just yell at me all the
Yeah,
time.
he's a yeller, yeah.
Yeah.
The loudest
They-
All
person.
right, there we go, boys. Let's go. Let's reel it on back. Get back in there.
I think it was pretty much, it was either that or Jakiro. I like this one. For the Gyro, now you can do a lot. Do we have any of the saves left? Legion's out now, Abba's out. You do have the Omni, but I still feel that was just an NIP thing. I don't think Alliance really likes that hero that much.
What about the Ogre? They like to buff Gyro
They
quite
do,
a bit.
yeah. I would go something like a Wyvern or Jakiro once again. Once that Shadow Demon uses Disruption. Defensively, it's such an easy setup for Jakiro to land an Ice Path, or just Winter Wyvern in general. I love him as a hero because he has this BKB piercing ability.
There it is.
They go with
You called it.
Jakiro, yeah.
I think they're just the two best fives in the game besides Coddle right now, at least in this tournament that we're watching.
There's still the potential for the 4-headed draft on the side of Alliance. I know you're into that there, Lacoste.
I know this is game 5. I can't believe still that the fact Demon Slayers is just here, at all. If you're just popping here like, whoa, game 5, why the hell is Alliance losing this no-name team? I mean, they beat NIP, they beat J-Storm, they beat Liquid, and they're only one game. I mean, each team's only one game away now, but
It's about, what is it, almost 8 p.m.
Yes.
Right here. So right now in America, people are waking up, they're just slowly getting ready, getting their coffee, turning their PC on, opening Twitch, and they're like, let's watch some
No, you
Dota,
open
highest
Reddit
viewed
first. That's
stream
what you
is
do.
DreamLeague. Oh great, DreamLeague's still on, that's nice. Oh, it's
Oh.
Alliance, I was expecting. Wait, is that Demon Slayer?
wait, Demon Slayers, I think we watched them in the minor qualifier. What are they doing in the grand finals? But here they are, and if you are just tuning in, I mean, they have put on quite the performance. These last 2 games have been real rough for them, but they've already started with their best opening in about 3 games now.
I mean, it's one of those things where if you're playing on Demon Slayers today, you're happy with where you're at right now, but you're going to be even happier if you can take the whole shebang, right?
Oh, you know these guys are hungry for it.
Oh yeah, you see them.
Yes.
They're all geared up over there.
And even though they are the underdogs, if you go up 2 games in a best of 5, you are legitimately gonna feel like shit
Yeah.
if you lose this game. Like you are.
Yes.
Even though you're not expected to win this, they probably are when they're up 2-0. And if you throw 3 games in a row,
Maybe
not
we
gonna feel
can
good.
tell them, in a week's time, and they'll be
Yeah.
happy with getting second. But for now, it's like nobody
They
is
need
gonna
this.
be happy.
Yeah.
It's been an incredible journey for them,
Being
to be
second.
sure.
Yeah, even if they lose after having 2-0 advantage, I still think they showed everyone, they showed us how to play Dota, and the scene in North America is growing.
Looks better.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
looks
looks way
better.
better for sure.
and there's the Omni ban. I like it. Even though I don't know how much Alliance plays it, just get rid of that buff hero, get rid of that save hero. No reason to just give Nico Baby plus 4 Ws, or as we like to call it.
That is the too easy one.
Dire team battle.
I must say, we're all winners here apart from these teams.
Yep.
I mean, one of them is going to be a
One
winner,
of them's
sure.
one of them's a winner with us. The other
But
one,
we're a winner.
get away from us.
Everybody else is a winner regardless,
Yeah. It's true. Oh, and there's Nico. Nico maybe talks a lot, I've noticed, out of the second banning phase. Like, he says more words than even Fada does. Like, whenever they show him after this phase, and then when it's last pick, he doesn't talk at all, which is strange, because they already have his hero. So he must have a pretty big say in what they, like, overall do.
He's just saying what he doesn't want to play against.
Yeah.
What did they ban? What did he say? Bloodseeker and Mag? All right.
Yep.
I like that Mag ban. I think it's what we saw last game. It gives you your win condition, and it gives you an easy one. Mag, hit Empower on a hero, go farm, win the game.
Yep.
Dire team
And the Death Prophet is the last one out. We saw Limp, of course, in that one previous game. And it's one of the simple heroes.
Yep.
You
And
press R and you run in.
alliances.
Yeah. And it slows down the game a little bit.
Yeah.
They can't do these 22-minute pushes, and guess what? Flea back on his Shadow Shaman. I like it. It gives them tower push and lockdown. We've talked about this hero a lot. Wave clear, tower push, lockdown.
Yeah.
Gives you all.
A lot of boxes checked and looking like way better draft than what they had in the 2 previous games, at least from my point of view.
Well, we like this too, the fact that, we've talked about having Flea on a very mobile hero, having him be able to pressure that mid lane to really secure it for Annihilate. And I think that's
It's not
a good
as
plan.
mobile, but I think he's been going boots first on Shadow Shaman.
Yeah.
That kind of makes up for it.
Well, it's just really good for harassing in lane too, right? With that very high attack.
It is.
Attack damage.
So we got the support duo on Demon Slayers. We got the lockdown. We're kind of missing a little bit of team fight on their end. And then we have Shrek on the side of Alliance, so there's some extra lockdown for them too.
Yep.
Tower push also.
I know I said this like 2 games ago. I just like how these 2 teams draft against each other. Neither one's clearly scared. Like, they keep drafting lineups that will just run at each other. We saw one Alliance back down, I think, game 2, and they drafted that Spectre, and they're like, all right, we're not doing that. We're going to run at you again.
Oh, I like this.
And there it is.
It's a little early, which makes me a little nervous because they could get something to really counter a good silence. Obviously, talked about the Night Stalker in the past, but we've seen what Annihilate can do with this hero.
Yeah.
I think they need any kind of silence lockdown right now, and maybe put this Lashrock as a core, have this lower cooldown stun or silence on your offlane.
5 seconds.
Are you worried
I would love
about,
to see
like,
some Night Stalker?
What am I missing here? Plum, plum, plum? Oh, God,
That's
it's
the
that
song.
song.
Yeah.
Yeah, the song.
As I said it, I'm like,
I was like, Lacoste meme master, what is this? Is this some sort of new Twitch chat? No, the song.
There's one.
No.
There we go.
oh dear.
And
I got baited.
I
We
really
still
like
love
Axe.
you, Sheeves. Don't worry.
Axe isn't banned, right? It is not. I really like Axe here for Alliance. A lot. It gives you a good initiate, someone who can actually maybe go on Ember if his fingers aren't quick enough. It's good versus Legion, Shadow Demon, and Shadow Shot. Because you can't, right? We saw that in the game. You can't purge off a ton of Axe.
I like that. I actually really like that. We've been talking about saves, we've been
Yeah.
talking about sustain, and nobody picked up Dazzle or Oracle, but Dazzle. I have been spamming Dazzle, and I've been winning most of my games.
Is this
9 out of 10.
Dazzle versus Ember? Dazzle destroys Ember in
Yes,
lane. I'm
it does.
very curious. I think it's going to be a core Dazzle middle. I
Okay,
hope.
I'm okay with that too.
Dude,
Look at all this tower damage that they have and the sustain coming out from Dazzle, especially if it's a core Dazzle, which means he's going to get a lot of levels.
this is a scary
Oh,
draft because we've been picking who has usually the quickest draft. You have a Gyro, Jakiro, Lesh, Dazzle. You are going to be just running at
If they don't
towers.
want to pick Axe, like Axe has to go because Alliance will benefit a lot from it.
You got to get rid of that. Because they are still lacking. That's the one thing Alliance is missing. How do you start the fight? Like, you don't want to start it with an Ice Path. You need someone to actually go in and just eat up damage and tank it. Axe is the best one.
So that will be probably banned. Are there any others that do the same job?
The
I mean,
Night Stalker.
Centaur's decent,
I
Night Stalker.
love Night Stalker because it cripples all their heroes.
Yeah. I think, honestly, any of the offlaners right now, just get someone who goes in, because the rest, these 4 will do enough damage for you. You just need someone to absorb it.
Is the Night Stalker going to be enough initiation, though? As my only concern.
Yeah, they
because,
ban it
he
out.
can get a Blink Dagger eventually, but he's got to get into these fights. And they are fairly mobile. You know that the Legion Commander will be getting a Blink Dagger. Ember, of course, moving around quite quickly. That's my only concern about that Night Stalker. The Axe would have been perfect.
Would have been.
Centaur.
Maybe the Sento.
I really can't believe they didn't just pick Axe, right? It's not like Demon Slayers is no way in hell
There's
we're going to
no way
ban
they're gonna
Dazzle.
ban
They're like, wait a minute, this is the Dazzle game. They're going to get us. But no, works out. We see Nico, he's smiling. I saw that little grin before the camera went on him. But just one game for either team.
Yep. Is there an answer for Demon Slayers to be able to deal with a Dazzle? Like, could they change something up? Could they maybe put someone else?
It's a great Queen of Pain game because they have 0 lockdown.
Yeah, that's true.
I
put
legit
Ember Spirit on the safe.
I haven't seen Costa Bile play
They
Ember.
could.
Legitimately,
They
I have
could.
not.
He has, like, he used to play a lot of mids. Like, you could even switch things around a little bit. Like, you do have that.
But in Game 5 versus Alliance,
I mean,
that's
it's not great.
real risky. Yeah.
It's not great, but, you know, that is an option available if they really feel like this is the pick.
Yeah.
Can we do it?
It's also a great Slar game because, well, once again, they have no lockdown. But
You like the fishy boy, man.
I do.
And he's just dead. We haven't seen him once. Wait, we saw him once,
Ooh,
right? Yeah, we did.
watermelon time.
All right.
Well, there's Do you like Slark still after that pick?
Especially after
So, yeah,
Titanfall.
I agree. It's you have to do it, and it will give you a quicker pay. Like, you will almost match up. I still think Alliance would be quicker, but you would have a little bit better late game, and you have better pick-off potential. Maybe not team fight, but pick-off with the Slark.
10 seconds
I
remaining.
don't see him going for it, but I'm trying to think
5
of
seconds remaining.
Costa Bile hero that owns.
I think it has to be either Slark or Spectre because both of them sound good. Slark a bit better because he can do whatever he wants, but there's no burst damage for the Spectre. Spectre might be a little bit slow, and they might be ran down easily with the lineup that Alliance has right now.
I know. Weaver, okay. Well,
Bug time.
they have stuns, right? But they're very, like, you can avoid Ice Path very easily. Sakuchi, same with Leshrac stun. If this Weaver gets up to a good start, I actually kind of like
You're
this pick.
so squished, though.
You are. But, I mean, I think as long as you can somehow, like, free farm up, a double Wraith Band into not a Hurricane, but a Dragonlance, you'll get tanky enough. And without their general lockdown, is this Weaver pick enough?
I did see smiles all around on Demon Slayer. So regardless of how this game is going to play out, I hope they're going to, both sides are going to enjoy themselves.
Yeah.
I do need to hear from you guys what you think is going to take the series
know what?
and take the championship.
I have said Alliance 4 games in a row, so I will change it up. I think this Weaver pick is actually good enough. I think he is going to run Rough Shed over all of the heroes. I do think Alliance will have a better start.
Okay.
But I think they will weather the storm on Demon Slayers, and this Weaver is just going to be flying around.
I went with the Lions 4th time in a row, so I'm gonna go once again. They have a really nice sustained lineup that's gonna hit the timing around 20-25 minute mark. We're just gonna group up, and Weaver is a great 10th pick because they have nothing to lock her down, but still, once you group up, Weaver can't do that much. I mean, she can try to get cut into backlines, but against this heal against the Tidehunter, which they don't have any response to, I think Alliance has it.
I'm a ride or die kind of girl, so you know what? I've been going for Demon Slayers. I think they still got some magic left in them. I like that final pick with the Weaver. Put me down for Demon Slayers.
Demon Slayers for me as well. But I think, we're all winners here. We're going to find out which one of the teams is a winner, and they need some of your energy. Rotterdam, make some noise. Odie picks the Lizard with Alliance and Demon Slayers.
Game 5 of this beautiful series. All the rest on this game, of course, for both Alliance and Demon Slayers. We've seen the picks, again, finishing off a little different. The Weaver coming out from the Slayers. The panel sort of talked about the lack of lockdown potentially coming from
some
Alliance.
ice paths, right?
They do get the Ravage, as sort of obviously with the Tides, the 5th pick, so a little bit of extra catch added in there. Is it going to be enough to deal with the elusivity of this Ember Spirit and Weaver that
They
Demon Slayers have got?
definitely have that mobility on the side of Demon Slayers, the one that we wanted to see from them earlier. We have Annihilate on an Ember Spirit, a perfect hero for everything that Moxie, that Grant, that Lacoste were talking about. Get in, get out. He's been doing very well on this Ember Spirit, but we'll see if the fingers are as mobile as in the first 4 games, because remember, this is Game 5, Grand Final. Sometimes it's the best to just pick the easiest possible draft and play it out. Dazzle, he's played by Limp. I was actually wondering, perhaps they could put Legion Commander on that mid lane instead, as you have pressed the attack. He won't be able to use that poison touch, right? And then you can maybe put Weaver on an aggressive try and Ember Spirit safely.
I mean, it looks like they're doing that,
Yeah,
right? You've got the Legion hovering around the mid, so they have read and responded to the limp mid dazzle.
One mistake from me. Weaver will be top, which is obviously a much better choice as he's ranged versus the Tide Hunter. Still, he's not super ranged, so those anchor smashes probably will connect if 3-3 plays it right, but a bad thing for them in this kind of a tri-lane is the fact that Ember Spirit will suffer when it comes to levels. You need that level 6 as soon as possible on Annihilate, so that messes his gameplay a little bit in the mid game, but overall I think they have a good plan. Counter that Dazzle with the Legion Commander mid. I really think they outlane them right now when it comes to setting up the lanes at least.
I mean, it was obviously having the Legion against the Dazzle mid, obviously the reason why it is good being able to sustain them and remove them and heal up through and around the Poison Touch is it's to the point where you're going to look at Limp and say you kind of want to move it around because surely you're picking this to really pressure, or do you just play the lane slightly different now because there's a Legion?
I think you just play the lane differently. If you're Limp, you can see that he started at Shadow Wave. It's something that you usually see from Dazzles, but he will most certainly be maxing that out and not Poison Touch so that he can range creep so easily taken there. And Old White also took quite a lot of damage, so Limp is already showing that he doesn't care about this counter, that he's doing all right.
Because I guess that's the thing, right? Well, sure, the Dazzle Poison Touch is incredibly annoying to lane against, but even when you're unable to use that to harass, the hero's got a lot of other strengths in the lane.
Oh my god, Limp just takes 50% of his HP from one Q of Legion Commander. What's the name of Q from Legion?
Overwhelming Odds.
Overwhelming Odds.
Very overwhelming indeed in that instance where we saw him get the big old nuke.
Oh, what?
Oh, that's a solo kill. Costa Pile, I mean, I guess as you said, it's a great lane for the Weaver, but I don't think you necessarily expect him to see a level 1 getting a kill like that.
It's the level 1 that's the most dangerous for Tide because he probably has only Anchor Smash to work with, right? And you don't have that second spell. Kraken Shell is not online just yet. He did start with the Stout Shield, but actually he started with the Stout Shield. He shouldn't have died. What was he doing? That's very surprising. Usually if you see a Tide start without a Stout Shield, he greeds out, he gets some more regen and then he falls because he doesn't have the Kraken Shell, he doesn't have Stout Shield, but 3-3, a surprising first blood.
And down bottom, getting a little aggressive onto Juan. Juan sort of, wow, I mean, he's dead.
Yeah, he was trying to move left, trying to move right, but in the end he couldn't decide where he wanted to go, and he was sent to the fountain instead. 3-3, does come back on the lane and instantly catches up 9 CS for him versus 10 of the Weaver, even though Costabil, he had some obvious advantage from that first blood. It becomes a little bit different once 2 raid bans perhaps are picked up by Weaver, as he'll be able to just dish out such a high amount of damage that I don't think 3-3 will be able to stand in that lane any longer.
I mean, I'll tell you what, we are seeing the bottom lane, chain stuns are there, Fleet, it's got the stick charge. That'll do it. Hansken gets the kill.
What's happening on this bottom lane?
I mean, the fight's going to continue. Annihilate is trying to run them down with the Flame Guard. Won't quite be able to kill off Fada. Sal's there to get Fada back up to full HP. A few poisons laid out onto Hansken, but nothing too much to threaten him. I gotta say, look at this middle lane. I appreciate the decision to put the Legion mid, so they had someone who could maybe do okay, but he is still getting destroyed by Limp. Limp 15-7 against the 6-for-4.
Weaver left, Limp was right. He is destroying this Legion. He's using his Shadow Wave very well against the melee hero, obviously, which prevents Legion from CSing properly and also dishes out a lot of damage, so he's forced to get a lot of regen ferried out.
And I guess this is sort of the risk, right? You're trying to force maybe a better hero matchup, but you're switching the play. You're taking your off lane and say, hey, go to the mid lane, it'll be all right. Problem is, you're putting him up against Limp, one of the best mid laners in the game.
Annihilate is also going to fall here, and you know what? We analysts, we can sometimes be wrong, and definitely Costabil, he's having a good lane here on top, but his other 2 laners, his other 2 cores are suffering quite hard. When I was thinking about that tri-lane, I wasn't thinking about the duo of supports. You have this Shadow Shaman plus Shadow Demon. They both come from the shadows, but they don't really work well together, not on this lane at least. You don't really have that extra damage or any follow-up after disruption. You can just spam the poison, and with Rasta you are strong, but so far they haven't been able to actually do quite a lot here.
And again, you see, Annihilate tries to get aggressive. We'll be able to dodge out the homing missile, but the rocket barrage is on top of him as Nico Baby just walks in, cleans up the Ember. Flea will go for the TP out, will make it. But these two lanes just looking pretty abysmal for Demon Slayers.
Definitely, that bottom lane, man, you can't feed Nico Baby the way they're feeding him right now. He's having a time of his life on this bottom lane, also getting some kills, apart from having 20 CS. As that probable Basilisk Fairy to him by Leshrac was ported back in.
And you can see there, this mid lane, Old White is feeling pretty useless at the moment. He just cannot get a look in on the creep wave. Limp just perfectly handling the momentum, keeping the harass high, abusing the fact that he's got to put that mango. Just came out to him on the courier. It's a good job it did, because otherwise, I think, as you said, he would have been a goner.
Yeah, Weaver will steal the top 2 bounty runes, it seems, as Rasta has rotated in 2, while on the bottom lane, 2 will go to the side of Alliance, so a fair trade when it comes to bounties, but overall, it feels good if you're an Alliance fanboy right now, as they're 1k ahead, but 5 minutes in, that's quite a big advantage, and they're definitely winning these lanes.
I think we're going to have to see what Costabile can pull off, with him being the one having the greatest start in terms of lanes, getting that XP, getting the farm.
And we definitely have seen this guy carry games for Demon Slayers,
oh, yeah.
right? 3-3.
Bit of a catch out here. Flea walks into the lane, set up with the shackles, Kraken shell. Will remove the disable. Costabile is going to look to dive though. One more Shikuchi closes the gap, and Flea will make sure that this lane continues to be a very good one for the Weaver.
Yeah, they are losing the other 2 lanes, but at least this Weaver is doing really well. And I have to say that glad that they didn't try to change things around, that they didn't try to send this Weaver somewhere else, because he would have suffered then too. We see these teams fall into the same trap. They try to mess things up.
Mid? Maybe trying to punish the over-aggression of Limp, but at the same time, Hansken's come in for a bit of a rotation. They've brought in Costabile. This is the Weaver getting active, using his power to turn towards the other lanes and making it work a little bit better. Limp getting low. Costabile's going to chase him with the Shikuchi. Limp's being southed up. He'll get the Shikuchi in to cancel the south, but Limp, he's back by the shrine.
Weaver.
They turn, the stuns down to Costabile. He's got the time lapse.
Actually, he lost more than
I was going to say, yeah, after the one charge, that's not only the correct order, but maybe a bit of panic there from Costabile. Tried his best with that rotation to get that kill, but Alliance were very good at just backing off as a unit and making sure they lost nothing to that Weaver movement.
Really well played by the Dazzle too. Moves away, uses the heal. He didn't have the Shallow Grave, obviously, but you don't usually have it skilled, especially when you're playing mid. When you're playing mid, you want to max out your healing and your poison touch, and afterwards you can get a couple of points in the Shallow Grave.
Old White just having to keep himself far behind that tower. As Limp constantly ready to pressure back the Legion. Costabile's farm does continue to go unhindered despite that movement towards mid. He gets himself back in position in that top lane to soak in sort of the benefits from the safest lane they have on the map at the moment, Demon Slayers.
Annihilate still not 6 here. I think that's also a big power spike for Demon Slayers. They need this Ember Spirit to hit that 6. Once that happens, he might be able to do some magic across the map with his Weaver, as the 2 of them, they are definitely strong on the side of Demon Slayers. Like, Ember is one of those heroes. Once he hits that 6, perhaps level 7, he's already strong enough. It doesn't really matter how your laning went, as long as you get those levels early enough. If it's too late, then you can kind of struggle, and the damage that you dish out already doesn't really matter, because they have 1 bracer on 2 on supports. And let's see.
Setup zip. Zhuang is found Hansken. Annihilate with a quick dodge, but Hansken fakes him out. Still has the stun save. Poison will do it. They get the support kill.
I have to commend Hansken there for the way he has played that.
And Nico Baby, he's going to have a pretty good job of cleaning up a support in return, though. Sweeps across, and with the cooldown, no escape for Zhuan.
Position 4 for position 5, so maybe a little bit better for Demon Slayers, but it was the solo gyro that got the kill, so a lot of experience, a lot of gold for him too, going solely in his pocket, and man, Nico loves to get these solo kills early on.
Just trying to abuse Annihilate as much as they can before he hits the 6.
Man, he would use a gank on mid. They could use a gank on mid on that Limp Dazzle. They can't let Limp just go with
Well, I mean, they're going to try. There's the gank. Flea's there with the wrap-brand. Do they have the burst to bring him down during the duel? Shackles are out, but the Ravage cancels it all. The three-man Ravage into the ice path. Costabile's got to get himself out of this. A defensive disruption from Juan will save Old White.
No one is going to die, it seems, unless Legion ticks to the poison.
I mean, both teams there
barely survives.
so quick to respond. You have the move being made by Old White, instant reactions with the Ravage, but then the same to be said for Demon Slayer. Juan coming in with that disruption to save.
Alliance just realizes what Demon Slayers have to do, and they act accordingly to that. They read their movements perfectly well, because this Dazzle wants to take the tier 1, and once he takes that tier 1 on the mid lane, he will start rotating across the map, and you won't have enough damage to deal with the sustain that he brings to the table. That's the problem that Demon Slayers have to somehow address. This Ember Spirit can get on top of the Dazzle, but at one point you will have Ice Path, you will have Shallow Grave. You won't be able to deal with the Dazzle, especially if he goes for something like Necros into back.
Hansken, great turnaround with the setup, gets the two-man stun. They'll come in with the wraparound with the Jara. It will be held back by a disruption. Remnant's there to allow Annihilate to get himself away, but inside of the river, Old White, he's in trouble. Another stun from Hansken catches him out. Heal bomb for Limp takes the kill.
Heal bomb for Limp. Exactly, as he moves back towards the mid lane, where 3-3 is already pushing in. It's a Carty lane as well, as 10-minute mark has spawned them, and they go straight into the push. Ember Spirit still really not able to fight this off, and this should be a tower. You have Jakiro, you have Lashir. They don't even have to commit so much, but they make sure that this tier 1 is now dead, and the map opens up so well for Alliance, as they can now rotate towards the dire jungle.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
I see them start to maybe move towards top. It's hard for them to really do too much about Costabile when 33 doesn't have the Ravage, and you can see with 33's build as well, he has queued up the Blink, so wanting to go for that Blink rush, so they do have that pretty reliable jump catch from him.
That's very interesting, but the reasoning behind it is the fact that they have another core who will bring a lot of utility to your lineup, so some initiation is definitely necessary. You could see that some heroes such as Axe were banned by Demon Slayers, and that pretty much means that they understood it as well, that Alliance has no initiation, so they need that Blink on the Tidehunter.
Oh, bottom lane, they're behind the tower, they'll get the wards dropped down. Hansken and Limp now trapped in, but now they're ready to turn with Nico Baby coming in. Annihilate has to jump out. They'll be able to farm up the wards as well here, so more money going the way of Alliance. Annihilate will reset, goes back to base. Remnant's out, so he's ready to rejoin the team. It's Costabile, he wants this tier 1 tower done. Quick burst of damage brings him down to half HP. Annihilate back in the action.
Do they have the damage necessary though? They will take down the tower, and it seems
Costabile
like they're diving.
does get that last hit. They'll move in onto Hansken. Cooldowns drop down, but Flea with the wraparound. He's got the shackles. The heal will be there, and Flea is in trouble. Ticking down loads of the poison touch. Costabile is going to try and continue to chase, but he cannot keep on top of them. They'll have to leave it as that. The support's trading their lives, but Demon Slayers do get that tier 1 tower.
They get the tier 1 tower, they take down Hansken, and yeah, it's pretty good for them. Legion Commander wasn't really involved, as he was still farming and out pushing mid against that Jakiro. But then again, for Alliance, you see Tidehunter on the top lane, and he changed his mind. He's not going for that Blink Dagger after all, which is very unconventional. Blink Dagger, exactly, is very unconventional right now for a Tidehunter. Instead, he goes for the pipe. So they're going full into utility. You will have pipe from the Tidehunter, and I believe an additional mech from the Dazzle, as he has that buckler already. Items such as these are really good on Dazzle, as you have that faster cooldown, obviously, from the ulti.
And they're also going to be very good at sort of dealing with the Weaver. You know, early on, Costabile's been turning up to pretty much every fight, and he's certainly been a bit of a terror. They've always had to back off when he's in play, but with the auras and heals.
He had a really good start. He had that first blood, but look at Nico Baby and his gyro. He's right behind him, and he should take the lead any second now. He does, because whenever you see Nico Baby, if he's not pushing the lane or fighting, he's farming some stacks. Somehow, on these maps, there's always stacks for Nico Baby. These supports are doing an amazing job at making sure that he finds farm, efficient farm in the jungle too.
Oh, there we go. Pipes out, 33. It's very hard for Demon Slayers to really go on any sort of action when the Tide is nearby. 33
one of the good things for Demon Slayers is that they have this Shadow Demon, and he loves these tanky, beefy boys such as Tidehunter because you can just cut them in half with the Soul Catcher, and afterwards it's much easier to completely shut them down and kill them off.
I see bottom. Annihilate. Just going to try and play around with Fada a little bit. We'll go for the TP and of course with the build that he goes for. No points in chain, so Fada no threat of being able to escape.
Yeah, unfortunate for the Ember Spirit, still not leveled enough to stop the Jakiro from porting away. And in this sort of a situation, you usually expect Ember to get that solo kill, right? But because he's been on a tri lane, he didn't find as much experience, and he still hasn't skilled any points in the chains.
Mid lane, they're going for the wraparound. Setups there for the duel straight away onto the Dazzle. In trouble, Ice Path comes out from Fada, and it gives chance for them to pop the Grave. And Disruption will be there. They're trying to finish him off, but they'll keep us surrounded, and Limp will be able to heal up, but he does not die.
That's so unfortunate, right? And it brings him closer and closer towards his Greaves, as they didn't manage to kill him off, not even once. I think Weaver, Constabile, he might have committed a bit too much there. If he perhaps Sukuchi'd away so he doesn't get hit by that Ice Pad, they have enough damage to take down the Dazzle, but he got a little bit too close, a little bit too greedy to hit him with the Sukuchi as well.
Annihilate. He's got the drums now complete. Well, of course, we're going for that Maelstrom next, alongside, similar to what we have from Constabile, Dragon Lance into for the Maelstrom top lane. Fleet, he's looking for a bit of a solo play here, and with the wards down, he's going to have a good chance of getting it. He will do so. Gets the kill off. Nico Baby will be able to take a bit back. It's quite a fair bit of gold, of course, that he is going to get from those Serpent wards, so maybe not as worth as it looks initially.
He's not denying them, but he's sticking around, so is he trying to set up a kill here? I don't think he is, because he's all alone. Very interesting that he didn't at least try to deny those wards, because you can do that versus Gyro. It takes time for him to hit those wards twice. Fata. Another chance here. They should get him this time with the duel available as well as chains. Nice Ice Path, makes them work for it. But they'll still get him at the end of the day. Old Bite with the first duel successful this game. Gets himself a nice +10. Yeah, Fata is super satisfied with the fact that he managed to outpush that lane, and he forced 2 rotations on the bottom lane, the Legion Commander and the Ember, obviously. So even though you die in that situation, you're not too bummed out about it. You're a position 5. Flea is doing pretty well on his Shadow Shaman, though. Has Aether Lance, 600, 700 gold remaining for that Link Dagger too, which will allow him to get some of these pickoffs like on Hanskin before.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
That's just that 2k lead, of course, most of it on top of Nico Baby's Jara. That's not a bad thing, though, with the way that Nico Baby's been able to carry some of these games. 3-0-5. He's had a lot of games, it feels like, on the main stage where he just hasn't died, or at least only died a couple of times.
He's on point. He's on point. Like we said it before, he just does not do a lot of mistakes during his games, and that's why he's a top-tier carry at the moment. TI worthy, definitely. Flea, he's been setting up that trap on the top lane, but Constabile, he's been just farming, and he never connected to the Shadow Shaman, who was eyeing Nico Baby out. However, we were more satisfied with just the farm in the jungle right now, at least.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Hanskin, 2 bracers. Quite a beefy Leshrac, just out pushing the top lane with that Diabolic Edict. This tier 2 might even fall.
Oh, Flea. I know there's someone's in there, Flea. Will TP out. Yeah, they did hit him with the scan. He'll get himself away. Does mean that this tier 2, 18 minutes in, falling pretty early on. Alliance keeping the pressure up.
It's so easy for them to push. On one side, Jakiro, on the other Leshrac with Edict. Constabile gets out. Press the attack is a little bit too difficult for Alliance to deal with.
133, he's charging in. Zhuan will be left behind. Annihilate just managed to escape. Wards are going to be dropped here by Flea, looking in an attempt to finish off the tab, but with the fortification and Nico Baby around, it's just going to be a whole lot more of Serpent Ward gold going the way of Alliance. They've taken quite a bit from those wards.
Yeah,
about 3 times 3 casts. They've got the majority of them. That's a lot of money.
Yeah, Flea has to be a little bit more careful with the way he positioned his wards. Like, if you want to take a tower, perhaps you should get a couple of more heroes there, force a fight into taking an objective. But they're in a problem right now. They cannot face off Alliance 5-on-5. They can't take these big fights, and because of that, they're trying to just use these wards in order to force some reaction and take towers on their own. Alliance, however, they're super capable of fighting these 5-man engagements. That's why they're around the pit. But they have to be careful. Roche, they've lost a fight around here too many times today.
It does seem hard, though, for Demon Slayers to get in. Ravage, cooldown, the great amount of team fight follow-up from Alliance is there.
If you somehow manage to duel the Dazzle and kill him off in that duel, you can win a team fight, but it's difficult. There's Ravage, as you just stated. There's also Ice Path. There's a lot of control coming from Alliance's heroes.
Blink Dagger now complete on Flea, so that extra bit of catch and setup if Alliance do get caught out alone, but for the most part, Alliance moving as a mass unit.
One good thing for Demon Slayers is the fact that Alliance is moving as a mass unit. They're moving together across the map, which allows Demon Slayers to farm on different places. You see Ember Spirit on the bottom lane, taking bounties, farming. Costabile, he took the top bounty runes and continued farming top lane. So they're definitely getting more out of the map, but Gyro farms just as fast on his own in this little triangle of his.
I mean, he's just, hitting those timings again. Nico, baby, 20 minutes in. Maelstrom's pretty much complete on top of the Aghanims.
Maelstrom Aghanims on Limp, you have Greaves. They are definitely hitting this huge power spike for them.
Back towards the pit. See old White just gets shut off a little bit by the Ice Path. Somebody healed his one. He's going to go straight and get on top of this. They do pop down the walls to block him off. Soulcatcher, bring them low. They've got the shackles with the heals there. Hex to follow up. They don't quite have to burst to kill 33 off. Costabile, he's having a look at trying to get involved in this fight from the sidelines, but with the heal and the Greaves, they're pretty much back up to full, Alliance.
Full HP after all of that Demon Slayers have used on them, and instantly into the pit. The wards from Shadow Shaman have been wasted too. Old White wants to peek in, but he can't really move any closer. Perhaps you can jump in with Annihilate. He's trying to do exactly that. But you can't just poke them. Like, it's useless. They have this Dazzle, he's going to heal you up all the time. Just poking and prodding won't really lead to much success. You can just die instead. Juan is being doven by 3-3.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Radiant's
Nico, baby.
Yeah, he wants
focusing on, he should get, this is so hard for them to get in, and they're not going to be able to put a stop to it. Alliance, get the Roche. Aegis on Nico, baby.
Almost, if you're playing versus almost any other draft, you can definitely do this. You can poke them until they have to retreat because they lost too much resources, too much HP, too much mana, perhaps healing up. But you're playing versus a core Dazzle. You can't just poke. You need to commit to a fight in order to win it, because he will just continue spamming Shadow Wave and Greaves, and you will never take the target down. Flea? Sir? Sir, that's not the play. I believe that is not the... Yeah, I have checked and that's not the play.
He's having a bit of a rough one, Fleet. Getting caught out a few times as he's trying to split it up. He'll say he is making the space. As you said before, mid lane, bottom lane, you're constantly seeing Annihilate push out one, Costabile work on the other.
Did you see Limp there? He shadow waves the creeps and then he comes to them and uses creeps too. Like, he really wants to keep all the creep waves as alive for as long as possible so that they can start pushing with the advantage that they've got and with this Aegis that has recently been picked up. Now, there's a BKB on Weaver. It's a safer option. They don't really have a whole lot of control, but it's safer to have that BKB, obviously. However, will they lack damage? That's my question right now. Will they lack damage in these next couple of teamfights? And in my opinion, the answer is yes, because you're playing versus Tide with Pipe, you're playing versus Greaves Dazzle, you're playing versus Shallow Graves, versus Shallow Graves and Shadow Waves. It won't be easy to take a clean fight for Demon Slayers.
No, it feels very tough for Demon Slayers to get themselves out of this spot. There's only a 1k in it, but the itemization, as you say, of Alliance just makes it impossible, seemingly, for Demon Slayers to fight them right now. Sure, they can continue to do this, split up the map. Once again, you see Alliance all in the same area, whereas Demon Slayers are split up.
They're trying to get time. They're trying to buy themselves time so that they can get an extra couple of items on Weaver and Ember. See Weaver pushing top, Ember Spirit is around the bottom lane. possibly trying to creep skip here to stop this push.
Radiant's top
Yep,
tower
he's
is
going to
falling.
creep skip, so this will stop the push from Alliance, or at least it should. Because I believe they killed the remaining creeps. Oh no, there's
They've
another
still got
extra creep wave.
Yeah, they've got a full wave, so it's able to do quite a bit with it. 33. Frontline straight in, the cooldown. It's going to find Flea hiding in the trees. Flea's gone.
He's just dead. He has no buyback as well. This could be the side, or at least the tier 3.
They are certainly going to stand their ground and push on, still with the Aegis and their ultimates. Alliance confident to break the base 24 minutes in.
Look at Nico Baby just asserting full dominance on the dire high ground, sitting behind the Raxes. This man does not give a damn. He's here for the Raxes and he's going to take them.
He knows how strong he is right now. 6-0-5, the melee racks taken down by Alliance. Demon Slayers unable to do anything about Alliance, just walking in and taking what they wanted.
That's a sad, sad Demon Slayer right there, just watching his Raxes die without being able to do anything. Ember Spirit is also one of these heroes that wants to be poking, jumping in, creating a mess, but they just don't care about him. They completely ignore everything that he does, and they just heal up with Limb.
Bottom shrine has fallen.
Vlad's also almost completed on 3-3. He definitely values this item quite a lot, and it will come in handy for the upcoming pushes. He basically realized we just need a lot of utility just to beef ourselves up a little bit more, and they will never be able to fight us.
Yeah, it really is their best play. Demon Slayers to continue to do this, have Costabile and Annihilate's Ember. Just push out these waves, try and make it so if Alliance are coming in, it's only ever going to be with one lane. Make sure that the other two lanes are out there. As we've seen though, Alliance, they don't really care. They walk in, they take the racks, they're moving down mid. You see Nico Baby as well, he's just going to pick straight up a Reaver. And 25 minutes in, this is an incredibly tanky gyro backed up by so much sustain.
And even though Costabile, he did manage to kill off the creep wave, alright, one creep was alive, but they opt not to go for that high ground push. Instead, they move back. There's a double damage in the river too, they can pick that up and continue pushing with it if they opt to. But also, just waiting for the Satanic, which has been just completed on Nico Baby, is probably a more disciplined option.
An incredibly early timing.
What I really like about Alliance is that they're very disciplined in the way that they play this game. Throughout the whole series, throughout all of the 5 games, if they have a clear advantage, they don't try to push it unnecessarily towards the high ground. They show composure every single time. I believe that's Fata's experience coming into play. They wait out those big items, they wait out the shrines, the pick-off, and after they get a good pick-off, even on a position 5, that's when they strike, that's when they go high ground. Or you just push right now.
Yeah, they're ready. They're ready to give it another shot. This top lane, this time the one under threat, Demon Slayers, they cannot afford to lose a second Rax this early on. They've got to form a defense. They do have the BKB now for Annihilate.
Satanic is there. The whole bunch of your teammates are around protecting you, and if you're Nico Baby, even though you don't have that BKB, you feel safe enough to hit that tower a couple of times. But he has to be careful, as you just said. There is a BKB on the Weaver, but no BKB on Nico Baby. So they can take him down as long as they control him.
It's a run round. 33 starts to fight off with the bang, gets the 3 of them. The BKBs will be popped. Old White trying to charge straight towards them, push him away from it. Costabile is falling low, past the time lapse, but the Grave keeps Nico Baby alive. He goes for the TPL, he's gonna live. They don't kill the gyro, they'll get the Jakiro. They do manage to jump in and get Hanskin as well. With the lockdown from Flea, they're picking up the kills. They've got Limb shackled, Limb will fall. They've found 3 at 33. He's now left alone, stuck in the trees to hunt him down. I don't think there's any way he can play his way out. They cannot. They
just got 4.
Demon Slayers hold on to the tier 3 and the Rex on that top lane.
Maybe you cannot kill the gyro, but if you force him to port back, that's the next best thing, because all of his teammates were like, where did you go, gyro? Weren't you supposed to protect us?
4 heroes are getting everyone else. I mean, what a hold from Demon Slayers.
Yeah, definitely. If that gyro is out of the equation, if he is not in the fight, even though he did get shallow graved, he escapes, right? You lose everyone else because they're super capable of jumping on top of the Dazzle and killing him. They need some more save for the Dazzle too, that's the problem. If you force the gyro to retreat, Dazzle is free game. He has no one to protect him. One of the difficulties for him is that he went this Greaves into the Hex build. And the Greaves definitely do help him out, but the Hex is super offensive. No Force Staffs, nothing like that to help him get back. Maybe some Glimmer Cape or something similar would be a little bit better.
And we saw there as well, you know, the way that they sort of tackled that, having Old White just charge straight at Lim, sort of push him back. You know, as impressive as it was that Lim was actually still able to get in and get that Grave off. But I think, you know, obviously at the expense of just taking so much damage. With the way that Demon Slayers knew they had to focus down these sort of key heroes that Alliance require to keep one another alive.
We didn't talk about that trophy, just sitting there waiting for one of these two teams. Someone will pick that up in what, like 20 minutes or so?
Well, we'll see. Whoever knows how long this one could go. It did look like Alliance were for the sort of the third time in a row beginning to roll over Demon Slayers, but with a hold like that, who is to say how this one could end up going?
I'm super happy that that happened too, as it keeps the game tense. We can't really know which way it's going to go. Costabile. All right, the game has been resumed. He's out pushing the top lane. Nico Baby just continuing to farm his BKB. This is a huge power spike as well for Alliance, obviously. I believe one of the reasons they lost that top fight is the fact that Nico Baby did not buy BKB earlier. If he has a BKB early, you can't force the shallow grave from Dazzle that early on. And then the whole strategy in which you take the teamfight has to be very different for Demon Slayers. It's not as easy. So if you're Alliance, you need to bide your time. Just wait for this BKB on the gyro and then pounce.
Yeah, with the rate that Nico Baby has been picking up the farm, he should have it relatively soon if they want to sort of
look at this
take
build.
A step and take a bit of a break from the fights.
Look at this build, 2 bracers. Like, what would you say? What MMR is this? If you just saw the inventory, tell me honestly.
I mean, I don't want to
what MMR would you put on that inventory?
It's doing the job, you know.
I know.
These sort of little items, the bracers and then the cloak, it makes all the difference. You know, he was able to run in.
That's some 3K stuff right there, Alex.
It was working.
It's working though, definitely. Bracers on offlaners are definitely necessary right now. But let's say half a year ago, that item build, if you'd see it, you'd be like, what the hell are you doing? What?
I mean, I think it's just sort of going with the mindset that we knew that Old White had before. It's you know, not necessarily looking to successfully win the duels. It's just about using that duration to take someone out of the fight.
To take someone like Dazzle out of the fight so that he can not use that shallow grave while everyone else is focused on the gyrocopter. Does make a lot of sense, definitely.
Down bottom, Costabile, space continues to roll in and his farm continues to rise, very close to picking up the MKB. And now on top of that, Mjolnir, this Weaver, this bug, he's starting to hit incredibly hard in the fights.
Yeah, incredibly hard, incredibly fast because of that Mjolnir too. He will be a problem. There will be a bug in the system for Alliance that they will have to deal with somehow. They do have a lot of AoE stuns. You have this Ravage, you have Ice Path, you also have Lash to follow up. So as long as you wait out that BKB from Weaver, you can take him down after. They do have everything necessary. Also, once that Hex is up on the Dazzle, I believe the game becomes much easier for them too. The BKB has been... Wait. Just a second ago, he didn't have that BKB. This gyro is on fire when it comes to farming speed.
Yeah, 338 CS here at 30 minutes, 606. Not dying at all. The only one, of course, on his team that hasn't fallen. Roshan will spawn. Convenient time for them. They're around the pit, but at the same time, Demon Slayers are having a look in. Mjolnir's just been completed by Annihilate. So the damage output of these two cores, the Ember and the Weaver, are continuing to scale up very nicely.
They're pinging it out. Flea is in a good position to break the smoke, but he has to be careful.
Alliance know that they're on the high ground. They did scan
this. They're pinging him out. They know where
they're in the tree. 33. He's going to jump in. BKB instantly out from Old White. He's going to head across, but Flea's fallen. He tried to go towards them, but this time around, Nico Baby, he's hitting too hard. Old White has to get himself out of the area. The BKB wears off. A homing missile's heading his way. Nico Baby staying on top of them with those Aghanim's hits. Kills him off.
Yeah, you can see that he pops the BKB, goes straight past Tidehunter and the Gyrocopter tries to go for the Dazzle for that duel, but by the time he got to the Dazzle, he was so low that he had no business trying to duel him as he just feed away the damage. So it's good that he went back, but... Oh, Ravage is there!
There's the opening, Hans dead, he's got the follow-up stun, he's under the tower, he's dead and gone, 90 seconds without the Weaver. Costabile, he did decide to change up the build, he didn't go for the MKB, went for the completed Orchid, but at the expense of having any buyback available. This should be a free Roche for Alliance.
That's a free Roche. If I ever saw one, easy Roche for Alliance. They have this Dazzle, they have Medallion of 33, and it falls in a matter of seconds. Nico Baby will be happy with the new Aegis there. Perhaps she is too for him. No, she's picked up by Limp. Oh man, they didn't have burst before, Demon Slayers. Now versus the Cheese versus the Aegis. How do you shred through Alliance twice?
Yeah, well, with those two, and now the newly picked up Solar Crest on 33, they can just force Nico Baby up to the high ground, have him go for the sieging. It really is, I think they'll realize themselves that this Weaver, he's not going to be buying back. Costabile, for all the excellent performance he's had, he's left a bit of a weakness now for his team, as Alliance will not hesitate to force on and look to take this second set of racks. Demon Slayers, the four of them will try their best to slow this down.
It looks like they're doing a really good job when it comes to slowing this down, right? They are losing top racks, but at the same time, only 13 seconds remaining for that Weaver to come back online. So at least they will have all 5 players if Alliance decides to push on. But going Alliance...
Trying to go for the setup here. Annihilate's going to commit. They want to buy time for those last 5 seconds before Costabile's in. The duel's here on the backline. He's going for lockdown onto Limp, but they've lost Flea. BKB's out for Nico Baby. He's cleaning them all up. The Legion's dead. Annihilate has to run him back up to the high ground. Costabile trying to commit with the BKB. Looking for 33.
Does he have the
silence gets crackened off. Costabile cannot finish off the kills. They won't get anyone of Alliance. Alliance get the racks. They get out of there as well. All 5 alive.
They get out. Also, they forced the buyback from Old White. He bought back, trying to maybe perhaps help his teammates if the fight continues. But Alliance, look at them. It's like they weren't even in a fight. They're all healthy. That's the sustain that these 2 heroes, Dazzle and 3-3, are bringing to Team Alliance. It's very difficult to take them down. It looks like Demon Slayers, they understand what's necessary. When they approach that fight, they approach it properly. Maybe the best case scenario, duel on the Dazzle, they go on the Gyro, but they just don't have the damage.
Oh,
and 3G certainly does.
Just dying there to the flak hits of Nico Baby. This Gyro so far ahead of everything. Costabile will be able to snipe the courier at least away from Alliance.
Yeah, he gets the courier, also the creep wave. No, one creep survives.
Ice Path won't quite find the connection onto Annihilate. Quick with the Remnant. Jumping himself to safety, but Nico Baby just standing tall on the high ground, committing Old White. He's trying to get in with the BKB, does manage to grab him. They've got the Dazzle, they've got the Slide of Fist. That's one dead, but Nico Baby just storms straight towards the tier 4s. He's in the base, he's killing them underneath the tier 4s. Schwa goes down, double kill for Nico Baby. Costabile, what can he do about this? Looks towards the Gyro. He still has the Aegis, Nico Baby, so he's not feeling too scared at all. Annihilate wants to at least force that out of him. Costabile is on top of 33. They've killed off 2 of them so far, both the Dazzle and the Let's Go, but 33, the turn, the Ravage, they focused on one, but the Remnant is out, OEP goes back in, Annihilate messes up with the Remnants, he does die for it, but they'll kill him the ones. Buyback's coming out from 33, he wants to get over and see if he can save this.
Did they kill him again?
He can't get here in time. There's the opening Hex. Nico Baby is so hard to kill. Do they have the damage? He's surrounded by the wards. The rest of Alliance are coming in to help him, and now Nico Baby, he's just going to look to run them down. Goes with the cooldown. He's found Old White trying to duke it off around the trees. Nico Baby comes, he's chasing. He's keeping on top of them. Costabile, he's picking off the squishes on the backline. Fada's dead. Old White, he's getting out of it. Does not want to deal with this.
Old White manages to get out. And so does Flea. So overall, they take down the Aegis. They force the buyback from 33. Not too bad for Costabile and the boys, considering Ember wasn't forced to buy back. Now, they just have to hold for 30 seconds if possible. This mid lane mustn't fall.
The TP is coming in. Costabile invests in the next big upgrade. He has the completed Bloodthorn. It's going to be a lot of damage. Daggles are there. Oh boy, he's charging at Limp, making sure that Limp cannot stay nearby to offer the help required to keep that Gyro alive. The silence for Costabile. They're on top of them. The duel. Limp's dead and gone. Now they can turn, trying to look towards Nico Baby at 33. They're going for the Mega Creeps. They're looking to finish off the Rex. Hex is there. Do they have the damage? BKB's Paul Costabile trying to stay on top of them, but Nico Baby's
Satanic.
He's healing up. He's banded up. Hitting on to Costabile. The Rage Rex got melee ranks and taken down as well. He'll run down Juan. Juan dies. He'll lose his life for it. But they got the Mega Creeps Alliance.
They got what they came for. However, 33, he has no buyback. It's not really great that he's going to die here, but he's buying a lot of time. His play right now should be just to survive as long as possible, which won't be too long considering there is Costabile and Annihilate both on him.
Can they do something with this? This is 100 seconds without the Tidehunter. You're going to have your full 5-man backup in 20 seconds. You are going to have to try and push the waves out against the Mega Creeps. But 90 seconds, it's quite a long time.
90 seconds is a lot of time, but there's a buyback on Gyro, there's a buyback on Dazzle. You have to go through these heroes twice because you won't be able to push that high ground before both of them respawn. It's a really difficult situation for Demon Slayers. Getting mega creeped with the lineup that they've got. We've seen so many comebacks. And the comeback against mega creeps in a game 5 of Grand Finals would be amazing, but definitely not super probable. I guess that here too.
They get something. See how much more they can push on for. Still 50 seconds without 33, 30 seconds that they may be able to try and force out a buyback from Nico Baby.
The wards have been dropped. Costabile, he's attacking. Press the attack definitely helps.
They've got the Hex on the Fada. Follow up for Costabile with the
There's the duel.
They've got the jewel on the left. Have they got the damage? The Bloodthorn Silence, they'll right-click him down. The Shackles are there. Luna's dead. He's got the buyback. Buyback straight away. They've lost Legion. Oh boy, it's gone for 100. They had to back off because now the respawns are coming into play. Nico Baby is back in the game.
Nico Baby is back in the game, baby. And you have Tidehunter as well in 50 seconds. While your Legion has paid with her life for that duel. She's dead for 80.
And with
now it's time for Alliance, exactly. Now it's time for Alliance to push on. Now it's time for them, and it's much easier because they're supported by 3 waves of Mega Creeps.
The Blink Gyro is coming in, but Flea with the force to the low ground, and the TP out, he makes it away. Flea!
So close.
He does.
He makes it away, but he needs to stay there. He needs to stay around his throne because the onslaught is coming. Alliance, they are pushing in. And you have to defend this high ground somehow. And now you don't have that main disabled. That duel is the only thing that was allowing them to take down Limp.
It really was. Every single fight, Old White has been such a huge component of it, taking the Dazzle out. See this stage, buyback status, Annihilate has his. Costapile's only 100 gold away from having one as well. But the tier 4 being focused down by Nico Baby. Alliance poking and pushing Demon Slayers over the edge. Can they really hold this now? 25 seconds before 33, straight in onto Flea. Flea is gone.
No buyback.
The tier 4 falls. Alliance looking to close things up. Annihilate trying to commit. BKB's pop. He's on to Nico Baby, but Nico Baby with his own BKB can turn. Annihilate jumps across. They've killed off Fada. They'll turn towards Haxen. But Nico Baby's going to close the game up past the BKB. Costabile, can he kill this off? The Grave keeping Nico Baby alive. 33 hands can Nico Baby. They just want to end it all. Legion, he's back in the game. The missile catching Annihilate trying to do it with a slider. But
he's dead. No
buyback on him. They'll go for the jump, but the Ancient is falling, and Alliance have done it.
They've done it.
They have done it. Alliance.
Convincing 3 game, like one game after another, they take down Demon Slayers. Man, they read them perfectly. They read everything the Demon Slayers wanted to do after those first initial 2 losses. They adapted their strategies perfectly well, and they take down Demon Slayers.
I mean, for Alliance, what a start to the season for this squad. Seemingly a sort of a last-minute pickup for the organization, but they are looking so hot right now, getting straight to the major and then turning up as a 5-man at their first land together as this new team, and they do it. They take away the championship title here. $100,000, of course, for Demon Slayers. It was a great trip from them. They managed to take it to the full 5 games.
You're talking about how important this land victory is for Alliance. They came with a mindset of practice. Demon Slayers, they came here to win, and being second place as a new stack, a stack without an organization, is definitely good for them. There's some dough in it too. They want some money, obviously, but I believe this will gel this team a little bit better, and we should see them in the NA qualifiers in the future, for sure.
Both of these teams you got to keep an eye on, and definitely the closer one on Alliance. Ladies and gentlemen, your CORSAIR Dream League Season 12 champions, Alliance!
Hello, congratulations.
Thank you.
You guys made your fans at home be really shaken in their boots, especially after those first 2 games.
Sorry, what did you say?
After those first 2 games, like how did you manage to turn it around like that?
I don't know, Fad has some positive things to say, and I guess we just started game 1 like it was the best of 1 again, best of 3 again, I mean.
It worked out. It worked out. You pressed W very well, Netta.
Thank you. Thank you.
No, amazing game. I do have to. Now I have Fada here. Fada, I know you don't like interviews, but
It's a lie. It's a lie, by the way. Fada actually is fine with interviews.
I do need to ask you. You are captain of the squad, first tournament champion. You gotta say some things.
Well, I'm obviously super proud. I think it's an achievement that we're able to come back from a 0-2, and that was kind of the challenge today. And we did it, so I'm super proud, I'm super happy.
How is it being a captain? You come from entirely different roles, but new role and captain.
Yeah, it's exciting. There's a lot to learn, which I enjoy. There's a lot of new stuff, and yeah, it makes me very ambitious. And obviously, I have great players to back me up too.
Thank you for answering my questions. Nico, baby, this is your second international tournament. Your first one was the international. Now you got a championship. What is this? What does this mean for you?
I love it. It's just amazing. Life is good right now, and I'm gonna enjoy it tonight for sure.
You're gonna enjoy tonight because you're saying tonight. I know you guys. You guys are traveling straight off to the next one, of course.
Yeah, we're going to Hamburg tomorrow, pretty early. Yeah.
So you are gonna celebrate, I hope.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Also, still focused for next weekend.
Yeah, definitely. Now it's ESL turn, so.
You got a taste for winning.
Yeah, for sure. Now it feels good.
All right. There's been a lot of people supporting you throughout the whole weekend, and obviously online as well. Some words for everybody at home.
Just thanks everybody for cheering for us. Like everything's been really positive since we joined Alliance, so I'm really thankful for all the support we have. Thank you.
Nico, baby, I gotta still ask you a question too, because every game we have had Twitch chat vote for MVPs, and win or lose, they really like you for the MVP. You want to say something at home to everybody on Twitch chat that voted for you every time?
You guys are the best. That's all. That's all.
Thank you so much, all 5 of you. Thank you for joining us here this weekend. Now, it's not entirely over yet because we're going to have some of these guys still for the Caffeine Overtime show as well at Caffeine TV DreamHack Dota 2, so stay tuned for that one. But of course, the big one, we'll see you in January at the Major, at the Leipzig Major.